Good morning. It is September 25th, 2018, and I am here at Wasatch Railroad Contractors checking on the 1912 for the Swanton Pacific Railroad. This is the unofficial update, and I will post a link in the description for the official page and the official updates on the Facebook page, as well as the Cal Poly website for the Swanton Pacific Railroad. I'm going to do a walk around here and show some of the progress on the new boiler for the 1912 you can see in the background, as well as what's going on with the old boiler and what we see here today.
We're here at Wasatch Railroad Contractors checking on the Swanton Pacific 1912 and the progress. In front of me is the old boiler with several things test fitted or refitted as a reference, including the running boards, some of the plumbing, and a few other things. There are also a number of measurements that are on the back of the boiler for the placement of several sight glasses, gauges, and some of the piping. The smoke box has been removed and it's on the floor there in front of it. The original smoke box is going to be fitted to the new boiler up in the background there. It has been test fitted, but was easier to continue work on the tubes without the smoke box on the new boiler. In the middle we have the frame for the 1912. And again, several things have been refitted as a reference, and the new boiler will be test fitted onto the frame. And the new boiler is on the welding table here. The boiler itself is mostly done. The tubes have been installed, but not welded on the front. And around the back, it'll be hard to see, but the tubes have been fitted in. Here we are at the back of the boiler. So the tubes in the back, it's hard to see, but they have been rolled over. The bottom of the firebox is not in yet, but that will be done after the door has been fabricated and once it is test fitted to the frame. And again, the frame is over here. The tubes on the ground were cut too short for our project, so they are going to be used on a different project later on down the road. And we have the other side of the old boiler. The new boiler has not been hydro tested yet, but that will be done once the firebox is done. And the new boiler has been welded up. All the stair bolts are in, and the tubes will be welded in the front if there is an issue during the hydro test that has not been done yet. One more thing before we go. Out in front of Wasatch is the boiler for the 1913, the original boiler. Just an update, no tubes are in it. I don't think there's been tubes in it for a long time. But here it sits out in front next to their little water tower. Still here. Just to clarify a couple of things on the update on the 1912 today. The tubes are in the boiler and they are secured in the boiler, and they will not be welded into the front part of the boiler unless there is an issue during one of the pressure tests before it is fired up. So the way that the tubes are is so that over the working life of the boiler, if a tube needs to be replaced, that it can be. So having them welded into place is much more difficult to replace. So the two pressure tests that still need to be done on the boiler is first a bubble test, where the boiler is filled with 15 to 20 pounds of pressure in compressed air, and then the outside of the boiler is sprayed with a soapy solution to check for any smaller leaks, much the way you would test a tire that's losing air the soapy solution makes it much easier to see those smaller leaks. After that, then the boiler will have a hydro test, and that's where the boiler is filled with water, and then the water is compressed and pressurized within the boiler so that any other leaks are made visible. So again, neither one of those tests have been done on the boiler yet, but that is one of the next few steps to be done, and the boiler will be secured to the frame, and then all of the plumbing and everything else will be done after that. Just a reminder, I have been a member of the Swanton Pacific Railroad since I was very young, and my family and I have stayed active even after we've moved, and as far as I'm aware, we are some of the closest active members to Cheyenne, Wyoming, which makes it so that we can come and check on the locomotives and the progress periodically. So any comments or questions, please put them in the comments of the video, and I will try to get to those as soon as I can, and hope you've enjoyed this update.